Welcome back, guys, to the Dual Hemisphere Hangout. I am one of your hosts, Luke, and joins me for 25 whole fucking episodes. We got my lovely co-host, Jake. What's going on, Jake? Say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. I feel like you guys. I think at this time of recording, you won't have seen one of Luke's episodes. But Luke has been busy building the network, and I feel like I haven't been on in a while. But for you guys, it's the usual scheduling. But yeah, it's fun.
It's
25
super cool.
episodes. 25 whole
main episodes. Yes.
Oh, man. So it has been like 26 weeks. Did we miss one?
We missed one. We missed 1 week, and then I think we missed another week because we didn't get an extra podcast out before the holidays. So there was like that 1 week where we didn't have an episode, and then we had that hurricane mix up really early on where we're like, all right, 2 episodes in, we're done.
So yeah, like literally like half a year of
almost,
DHH podcast. And that means like God knows how many hours of content. We're talking like maybe 30, 36 over a day's worth of us chatting absolute wet.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Yeah. And some of them are extra spicy. For sure.
And this one's going to be a spicy one. We've decided.
I know. We decided for the 25th episode of the DHH, we're going to be dropping some hot takes. You know, one thing about us is we definitely are very opinionated, and we've had some outlandish takes. So we said, you know what? Balls to the wall. We are literally just going to be talking some controversial hot takes. If you guys can agree with it, that's awesome. If you don't, oh well, it's our opinion. Too bad. So sad. Cry me a river. But at the end of the day, guys, you know, list your hot takes below at the end of this episode if you guys have any. And again, I just want to give a quick shout out before we get into the hot takes. Definitely, if you guys haven't checked it out already, we already have one out right now. We have the spinoff of the DHH. The DHH presents Podcast Making Our Wrestling podcast that me and my good friend Nick are going to be doing semi-monthly-ish. It just depends on when the pay-per-views come out. So if you haven't given a chance to listen to that and you like wrestling, definitely listen to it. And if you know someone who likes wrestling, definitely shoot them over the podcast. I think it's pretty cool. I think me and Nick have some great banter. And then coming up on Monday, we also have another special spinoff episode, that being what I like to call We Have Cool Friends, where it's like a podcast interview style where I maybe Jake sit down with someone that we know that we feel like is pretty cool, and we just kind of connect and talk to them for a little bit as well. That will be coming up Monday after this episode. So stay tuned, guys. The DHH is growing and expanding. Got a lot of fun stuff. One thing that I think we've all learned through this all is we like to fucking talk. So why not talk some more? But Jake, we got some hot takes today. I feel like, you know, since even though we literally did this last week, but it feels like you haven't been on for a while, why don't you go ahead and fire off your first hot take for us, man?
Okay, so I'm gonna raise the heat straight off the rip. It's getting hot in here. They're all going to be gaming related, by the way, guys. We're going to start off some generic ones, and then we're going to dive into some Pokemon ones because we love riling up the Pokemon community.
Yeah, we do.
My first hot take: Game Pass and PlayStation subscriptions have ruined the gaming scene. Completely ruined. This like subscription service where you get all your games included has completely destroyed every ounce of what gaming stood for. Is that good enough, Luke?
That's a good one. I honestly don't think I've ever heard anyone have that take. Why do you think that?
So what I think it drives is that people developers want to just like constantly pump out games to be on the front page of the Game Pass. And I don't think, for the most part, the developers are getting the right amount. It's the same thing happened with the music scene, right? When music went from Spotify, from like CDs and buying the actual physical copies to going to streaming subscription services. I don't think the developers are getting the payouts that they deserve. And then it also puts the emphasis on you can't really like delay games anymore. It's either delayed or cancelled. Like, and they're just straight up cancelling them. I feel like people are rushing to get them onto the consoles. They're rushing them to get onto for first pre-sale, and then if they don't do well, they end up on the Game Pass. That's effectively what I'm seeing. Or if they do really, really well, they'll be used as a flagship. Let's sell the Game Pass with this like big boy game. I think if we moved away from the subscription services again and people were actually paying and putting their money where their mouth is, you develop a good game, they will buy it. There was refund procedures in place, like especially on Steam, where you could play for 2 hours, and if you didn't like the game, you got a full refund. Like, that was perfectly fine. Now it's just like, oh, let's throw it in the Game Pass, and whether people play it or not, we still get a little bit of kickback. But for the bigger games, they're losing money.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I disagree. I don't think it's ruining gaming necessarily. I think if anything, it actually is growing the gaming. It's making gaming more accessible for people in general. And I think that's the one thing that I do like the Game Pass for. Now, quality of games is a whole different story. And I think I agree with you on that front, where specifically with the Game Pass games, with the Microsoft published games, I do not think that Microsoft is super concerned about their quality of their first party games, in the sense that they're not no one's going to be, there is not a world where I am buying Halo, for example, 6 for $70 when I can go get Game Pass for a month for $15 and be able to play that for 15 months. And so for that, I think that's where I come from. Because again, like if Halo 6 sucks, then like, okay, I paid $15 to try it out for 2 hours. I don't like it. I can go play Witcher 3 for the 400th time, even though I've never beaten Witcher 3. But you know, it's the same. It's the same thing. And but like if it's really great, like let's say for example, like okay, Forza Horizon 5 is the best Forza game ever made. Then that's great. And definitely if Game Pass wasn't around, I would definitely pay $70 for that game. But since it's around, I don't have to, and I much rather would. Well, actually, I think for Forza Horizon 5, I did pay $100 for that game.
Well, it's nice to have that game in your library as well.
Like, exactly.
So you are at the mercy of the Game Pass, where if you've paid for it and they take it off the library, it's gone.
Yeah, for sure. Which honestly, they don't do too much specifically, unless it's like those smaller third-party games. I will say, if we're talking about specifically what is better, I still think Game Pass is the better bang for your buck. I think PlayStation Plus is nice, but I also feel like it's the game. Me and you looked through the game catalog to see about games we could play, and it was very fucking sparse.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, and it's not. In my opinion, I pay $14 a month for the PlayStation Pass, and I can honestly tell you, I think I maybe played 2 games off the game catalog. I've saved a bunch of games for gold or whatever. No, PlayStation Gold. I don't even know what it's called. The month premium. The free monthly games that they gave that are not on the catalog, which I think some of them they have really good ones, and then the other ones they don't. For example, like I think this month was Dragon Age, the Veilguard, the new Dragon Age game that came out last year, which blows my mind. But it's because the game honestly did poor in sales, and they're like, oh, we still need to make money, like you said. So smack on the thing so it gets sales, and maybe if they really like it, they'll buy the DLC. So
what I would like is if they were to change the subscription service, I guess it would be something like you pay for the year, and whatever's on the pass that year, you get to keep.
Yeah,
that would change my mind significantly.
Yeah.
But
I definitely think Game Pass. Yeah, I think Game Pass it's definitely ruining the quality of games, specifically on that level. But I don't think it's ruining gaming as a whole. I think gaming as a whole is honestly growing because of the accessibility to a bunch of solid games right out the gate that you can play if, let's just say, you don't want to drop a $70 on a new game. So yeah, I got you. Cool. That was spicy. At the very first, I was like, okay, all right. My hot one, straight gaming related, is 60 FPS plus and 4K. Don't really change that much in a gaming experience, and people need to stop bitching about games not running above 60 FPS and wanting it to run in 4K. It does not, to me, it does not make a gaming experience better. Like, okay, if you want that, sure, you can go spend $600 on a 4K monitor with the liquid cool shit so you can see the dew on your fucking grass that you're going to see for half a fucking second. And just because your blade will move like this versus that, what the fuck's the difference? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And I'm so tired of hopping on like game reviews, and the first thing people are knocking it for is, oh, it's not running at the locked 60 FPS. It's running at 59. Or, hey, I can't go above 60. I can't run it at 120 F. You don't need 120 fucking FPS. I am sorry. You do not need that unless you are a professional fucking Counter-Strike player. All right, you don't need that shit. And now visuals is everyone's like fine. I like a good game that looks well, but I'm not bitching about sand particles and dew on fucking grass. It does not matter. It is not taking away from my overall experience of playing a fucking game and a half because the fucking particles look not great. Like, specifically, like the first thing I heard and it pissed me the fuck off, the goddamn trees and fucking Sword and Shield that people bitched about, and the fucking tiles on the roof for the RCS. I'm like, who gives a fuck, dude? You're taking a still image from small gameplay. If that takes you out of a video gaming experience, put down the controller and literally go touch some fucking grass and see what grass. Go outside and touch some fucking grass so you can actually get your experience that you so want from your fucking 4K monitor, dude. Like, I understand it, but I also like don't think it takes away from an experience. For me, if I'm playing a game on 120 FPS 4K monitor, I'm like, oh, this looks really nice. And if I go home and come play it on my monitor that I hook my PS5 up to, and I'm like, oh, this game still looks pretty fucking good. I'm enjoying it. It's not as pretty, but it's not like, oh my God, I can't go back to playing something like that. Like that shit, like, oh, once you go to 4K, you can't. Yes, you can. Yeah. Get off your horse. No.
I think resolution, I agree with.
Resolution,
like
fine.
Resolution, like don't care. Do not care. 1080p is more than enough, unless you're couch gaming. Like if you're on something that's like 70-inch TV,
yeah,
2K might make a little bit of a difference. But also that's on your quality of your TV as well. People do not recognize that it's the quality of the.
You go buy a 72-inch TV from Walmart for $300. It's not the same as buying a 72-inch Sony Bravia fucking 4K TV. All right,
resolution is not the same as pixels per inch, boys.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Learn your shit.
And then for like FPS wise, there is a huge jump between 60 and 120, and which is why I've always said I would like 1080p 120 as a minimum for a console, not for a handheld. Mm-hmm. The handheld is completely different. The level in motion, like it for me, it does make a big difference. It reduces motion like sickness because it's not as like all over the place. It's a bit more smooth. Yeah. I don't like the fact that games are now trying to pander to the high resolution, high fidelity graphics by just adding motion blur. That's not how to fix the issue. In fact, that makes FPS worse.
Yes, it does.
But I'm 100% with you on that one, Luke. Yeah, get off your high horse. I don't care that you spent $700 on a monitor. That
I don't care.
Like
Stop bitching about
the developer's point.
It's not that big. Like fair. I get your 120 thing. I guess I can. Again, for me, I don't need to feel super smooth in my gameplay, but again, I've never really played on 120 and gone down to 60. I've had games reach to 120, but the games that reach to 120 that I've been able to play on my PC have been like not very graphically heavy games that you don't notice it on, versus like playing GTA 5 or The Witcher where I can lock it at good. I never go above it because I don't like, because you see the dip if you don't have it locked at 60, like it'll go from like 90 to 60, and then you can definitely feel the difference from there because you're playing it. But yeah, like if you like you said, man, like cool if you want 120 or whatever the fuck you want, but at the end of the day, it is not the end of the fucking world if your game is not running. If your game is the game developer has said it's 1080p 60 FPS.
Yep.
Stop complaining. You're fine. Enjoy your game.
Unless they say 30. I think Dragon Age
if you say 30,
30 and it's like
you can bitch about 30. Okay, we're in 2025. You can bitch about 30 now, but like, come on, y'all, come on. All right, Jake. Next
one. Funny enough, talking about like Dragon Age and stuff. From Software haven't done anything for new for years. Anything new for years. And Elden Ring only won the Game of the Year because the game scene is trash. We all get it. From Software have like a winning formula of big boss battle. You have like several archetype trees that you can go down. But I don't know a single series game that has been allowed to do the same thing over and over and over again with a free pass like From Software have. I think Elden Ring literally only won Game of the Year. I mean, it was very close in comparison to Baldur's Gate, but Baldur's Gate was something completely new that had has put D&D on the map.
Yeah.
No, everyone looked at Dungeons and Dragons as like, that's for nerds. Like, I'm not interested in that. You're all nerds. I don't come in, you all dress up and come play roll dice on a table. Get out of here. But now they'll play Baldur's Gate, and just because it's got a couple of titties and a fucking sex scene or two, everything it's completely cool now. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point. My point is that every year of the 360, in the era of 360 and PlayStation 3, Game of the Year was so hotly contested between like whether it be the newest sports game, whether it be the newest Call of Duty, Fallout had released a new game, like Forza had come in with like it completely blown Gran Turismo out of the water, by the way. But like Gran Turismo tried.
It tried at best.
Look at like games like Mirror's Edge that almost won Game of the Year. It was always we had variety. Look, what was Elden Ring up against other than Baldur's Gate?
Just
FIFA?
Besides Baldur, no.
Fortnite?
Fuck no, no.
Like
it was definitely Baldur's. I think if I'm thinking correctly, I think the biggest like it was good, like no matter where you were in like the debate, it was going to be between Elden Ring or Baldur's Gate. It wasn't even like there wasn't another game on the table for that. And yeah, I totally agree with you in the sense of like From Software has not done anything innovative in their games. I will say Elden Ring's probably the most innovative they've gone in the sense of like it's a more open world, it's still difficulty, it's not as linear as Sekiro was or all the other games. Like
while it's still in my mind as well. Sorry to interrupt. They win Game of the Year again with a DLC? That's how bad it is.
They were they
Shadow
were
of the Erdtree.
They did not.
Like
they did not win. They did not win Game
of the Year. But they were nominated, right, for Shadow of the Erdtree.
They were nominated. They were nominated for it
for a DLC.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great DLC. I don't like those games because I don't feel like I don't like playing games where I have to earn it too much. But yeah, they haven't done anything innovative. I would say Elden Ring is definitely the most innovative it's been From Software. But it's like the same thing. Like if it's not broke, don't fucking fix it. And yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. It's kind of a hot take, but I definitely agree with you that From Software has not really changed at all. And yeah, and the fact that it won Game of the Year, I think they kind of gave it to him because I still at the end of the day, I think Baldur's Gate 3 should have won Game of the Year.
I thought it should have.
Did it? Hold on, wait a second. I think we might be off basis. Hold on. I don't know. I think Baldur's Gate 3 won, and I think Elden Ring won the year before that. I don't think they were in the same year. I think so.
Maybe my hot take has been completely destroyed.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it beat Baldur's Gate.
Game of the Year.
I'm pretty sure it did.
Okay, no, it won in 2022.
And then Baldur's Gate
won last year on 2023.
So did Shadow of the Erdtree come second to Baldur's Gate?
Shadow of the Erdtree came out in 2024.
Okay, so they're all completely different. My hot topic is like completely ruined. Luke just fact checked me. It's all fake news, guys. I'm so sorry. That being said, there was still nothing to compete with it.
No, there really wasn't. No,
when it won, have you got the list, Luke, in front of you of when it won?
I have. Yeah, it won in 2022, which I want to say is 2022 is the same year. No, yeah, 2022. I don't think there was anything
Because my hot take
Okay, let
might
me
still
see.
stand because I said it only won because the game scene was trash.
Okay, I got you. Okay, let me hold on.
And then I
Hold
just
on.
went on a tangent with Baldur's Gate because that's
Game of
like
the year
it's literally
2022
been like the
nominees.
two newest games that have come to mind that is like actually like semi-decent.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking it up.
You're all good.
It's making me upset because I can't. They're not like okay. Winners and
Listing.
nominees. Hold on. Oh my gosh, no one cares about. Good lord, just give me game of the year. All right, game of the year: Elden Ring. Then okay. So Elden Ring went up against God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So really, it's okay at that year. Now it's coming back to me. It was up against Ragnarok, and it was up against and it was between Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring honestly was the better game that year, like critic wise, because it did do something different versus everyone else. To be fair, I think Elden Ring came out so late in the year that year, like it wasn't even really like that's the craziest thing that it won Game of the Year, but I think it came out super late in the year. Like I'm talking like October.
Yeah.
And
Like
it
I'm sure it
won
was like
Game of
2
the
months
Year.
before the awards. Like
Yeah, and then and it was really soon. And then Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and I think the biggest competition for Baldur's Gate was Spider-Man 2, I think.
oh
That
my
was in the
days.
running and Spider-Man 2 was great. I just beat Spider-Man 2 by the way. It was actually really good, but it was nowhere near
In the
the
class.
Game of the Year. It should have been with the thing. But again, so your hot take
Still stands, legitimately.
still
I got
stands.
my wording
Still,
right. I just got my knowledge wrong.
yes, Elden Ring, guys, it's a great game, but it's not that good. All right. So for me, this is also gaming related, and now I gotta find my notes. Yeah, I am
You're
so
reluctant to
fucking
say this one.
tired. I am so fucking tired of remakes, bro. I am so tired of remakes and remasters. Can we please come up with some new fucking games and IP? Not every game needs a fucking remake. All right. I am so fucking tired of literally saying, what's Sony coming out with? Last of Us 2 remaster remake. Last of Us 2, the remake. Death Stranding 2. Oh, no, they did Death. No, sorry. Days Gone remake for the
Did they do
PS5. What the?
Alan Wake remastered?
Yeah. No, that they just came out.
No,
They just came out
the
with a new
new one.
Alan Wake game. Yeah, that's what they should have done. They should have came out with the fucking Alan Wake 2, which is they did. They didn't need to do an Alan Wake remaster. So thank God they did that. Why the fuck are we still getting remakes? I do not understand it. Like I love the Resident Evil games, and don't get me wrong, that like Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and I think you're stretching it on 4 that needs a remake. Those games are great. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I understand why some of those games got remakes because they've done them really well. But we don't need a remake for a game that came out 10 years ago. I read on the internet that they're gonna remake Black Flag. And I love Black Flag. Don't get me wrong. It's my second favorite Assassin's Creed game of all time. All right, next to Assassin's Creed 2. That game does not need a remake. I get that it came out well over 10 years ago at this point, but it doesn't need a remake. That game still is fun to play right now. And yes, well, it would be cool to see it in beautiful 4K, unless you're literally taking it and building it up from the ground up, which again, it's fucking Ubisoft, so you know they're not fucking doing that. And so they're just putting a nice coat of paint on it. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are we getting that? Why is that a game I'm hearing? Like, if you're going to remaster Assassin's Creed 2, fine, do that. That game deserves a remake. Actually, I would prefer if you just remake Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed that came out in 2007. But there's no reason why that we need a remake for every goddamn game that's come out within the past 5 years. And in about 2 years, we're gonna get a Horizon Zero Dawn remake. All right, why? But we are. You already know we're getting one. We got a Last of Us remaster and then a Last of Us remake. What's the difference? They just changed the faces. And I'm so tired of it. Like, we don't need a remake for every fucking game. Now, am I happy certain games are getting remakes? Yes. I'm glad Spyro got a Reignited trilogy. Yes, I'm glad the old Tony Hawk games are getting remakes. But every game nowadays, it just seems like it's a fucking remake. And I'm so fucking tired.
Yep, I
I'm
agree.
so tired.
Anything up
I
from
want new
PlayStation 4.
IPs.
Anything up from PlayStation, I'd argue maybe PlayStation 3. PlayStation
PlayStation
3 is a
3.
toughie because like a lot of the games were made for 720p, and I do like
Yeah.
when they take the blur off. It's like wiping a camera
Mhm.
lens, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
welcome back to the future. Spyro, 100% agree with. That was like 100% like block. That was PS1 blocks.
Well,
and then it
they
became
did good with that.
A really good one. Same with Resident Evil, because Resident Evil, when you can actually see what's going on, gives you a completely different like feeling to the game. There'll be stuff that you've never seen before because
certain games need remakes.
Yeah,
but not all of them do.
I
want new games.
Big fan of this take.
I want new
big
games.
fan.
I want new fucking games.
I would rather wait.
Stop getting hype. I would rather wait. Give me a like, and it kind of goes with this, and we can piggyback off this in a second when we talk about Pokemon. But I don't need another Pokemon remake. I don't need Gen 5. I don't need a Gen 5 remake. I really don't. I don't need that. I don't need Gen 5 remake. God forbid, like we're getting ZA and X and Y, and if they do a Gen 5 remake, we're gonna get an X and Y remake in 6 years. Like, we don't need a remake for everything. Like, I get it. I totally get certain games need a remake, but not every game under the sun needs a remake. Some games are fine, and they were perfectly fine to play back in the day. And that's okay, especially if we're talking about going back to the PS4 and maybe the early, like the middle to the PS3 games. Those games still are fine games to play. You don't need to go back to those games. That's just stop. Just stop with the
I think a
remakes.
lot of
New
people
game
agree on that one.
Give me an Uncharted 5. Don't give me give me Uncharted 1 and 2 remaster. Actually, you can give me that. I'll take that. But give me a new game. Resident Evil 9, please. I don't need Resident Evil. Like, if you remake Resident Evil 5,
it should come with a caveat that if you make a remastered or a remake, you need to give additional content. Whether it be like you expand the story a little, or there's like a DLC like ending chapter or a prequel chapter to the actual story. Give me something like a little bit of bonus content as well as remastering it. Then that might soften the blow a little.
And for the love of God, if you're gonna make a fucking remake, make it a remake. Build the shit up from the ground up. Do not call a remake. Do not call a remaster a remake. All right, the game needs to be. If you're gonna give me a remake for a game, you better give it the Spyro treatment. That shit is going to literally look like how I envisioned playing it when I was 6 years fucking old. All right, that's what I want from a remake. I don't want a funny, nice gloss of paint, and I don't want someone's freckles to be a little bit different and their hair to be a little bit lighter and their face to be a little bit more human-like. Like, I'm good as a fucking video game. I do not need I'm sorry, it's just because I saw The Last of Us, and I'm still hot about the fact that we were going to play The Last of Us remake, but it was actually The Last of Us remaster, and the remake was $70, and then the game itself, Last of Us, was also $60, but the remaster of
it's bad.
The fuck?
It's bad.
Like, stop. It's bad. Oh, Jake, new take before I'm starting to get mad.
New take. Okay. This one is my final like overarching gaming one before we branch into the Pokemon ones. The PlayStation controller has always been superior to the Xbox controller. Xbox controller is just to please fat Westerners.
Bro, first of all, sir, shut your whore mouth. Dude, the
Xbox controller is only there to please people with fat hands.
Bro, first of all, you clearly can tell you grew up on a PlayStation. You never played an Xbox for a long period of time.
I've got those skinny fingers, bro.
I'm gonna be so fun. I'm gonna give you a hard disagree, and I think a lot of people will disagree with you.
Oh, this is a hot one. This is a hot one.
This is hot because I do like the PS5 and the PS4 controller. I think those controllers
got fatter. They got fatter. Like for viewers, this is a PS5 one. This is like in infinite. This resembles more of a 360 control, Xbox 360 controller than a PlayStation 3 controller or a PlayStation 2 controller.
It's a really good controller. Those controllers, and because they are fatter. But you cannot trust me, because I grew up on them. All right, just like you, I grew up a PlayStation boy. I only had an Xbox One. That's the only Xbox a console I ever had. I grew up on a PS1, a PS2, a PS3, had a PS4 and a PS5. So I'm firmly can say this as someone who played a PlayStation game. The Xbox controller, Xbox 360 to honestly present day, their controllers are so much better than PlayStation. And yes, it's because we might have fat. No, sir, you're wrong.
No. 360 triggers, awful. I don't care what you say. They are awful. They have no zero, like too much input lag. The bumpers, too fat. The button layout, wrong. It's just wrong. ABXY, wrong. The fact that they moved the analog stick up to this, like for viewers, where alternating thumbs in different vertical spaces, wrong. Like your D-pad, trash. Like that D-pad was literally trash. What more to say? Plus batteries. Xbox were the one that made put batteries in there.
Yeah, because they were good controllers. That's why. And they were the first wireless ones. All right, you had to put batteries in all the wireless ones before fucking before the PS4. I'm pretty sure PS3.
PS3 had wireless. PS3 had one. And it was chargeable.
Oh my fucking god! All right, whatever. I'll agree to disagree on that. When you
the one thing I'll give them is they had concave sticks.
They had good sticks. Their sticks were better.
Concave, convex. I can't remember. The ones that dip.
They did. Yes, they did. First of all, they were more durable fucking controllers. I'll tell you that right fucking now.
No. Those PlayStation. Many of an Xbox One by PlayStation ones have lived. I think it depends on the angle you throw it at the wall.
To be fair, I was playing a lot of fighting games on PlayStation 3. Those things were getting chucked a lot. All right, so fair. We agree to disagree, but I will say, in my opinion, I think Xbox has always had better controllers. I will say the PS4 and PS5 controllers definitely soften the blow, and I can handle them a little bit better. They don't hurt my hands. They're not, again, like you said, I'm a fucking fat American. I got fucking meaty hands, all right? I got hands to fucking football, all right? I don't have hands to kick a football or kick a soccer ball around, all right? Anyways, before we start taking personal jabs right now, I do have one more hot take, and I feel like it's a hot take in the sense of my response to the hot take, to the take that everyone has. Stop bitching about annual fucking releases and stop buying the fucking games. If you are tired of FIFA being the same fucking piece of shit game it's been for 10 years, stop buying FIFA. If you're tired of Madden doing the same bullshit thing, stop paying $70 every fucking year to get the new Madden, to get the new Call of Duty, to get the new sports, to get the new any game that comes out every single year. If you're tired of your annual releases, put your money where your mouth is and don't buy the fucking game, and the game developers will make a game that's worth the money.
Yep.
All right, we need to get out of this annual release cycle, and I'm tired of people bitching about annual releases, but stop bitching about it and fucking do something about it. I can firmly say that I have not paid $70 for a Madden game since probably Madden 2020. Like for 5 years, I have not paid $60 for a Madden game. Now, I will maybe get it on like EA Play, or I might pick it up for like $10 near the end during the football season where it's like $6 just to play with the updated rosters. But I'm not paying $70 off there. I can honest to God tell you, now this will be the only reason why it's just this might not kind of taking to your first. Now that Call of Duty is owned by Xbox, it's getting put on Game Pass no matter what, so they can put out whatever shitty fucking game they want if they want to. But people bitching about Call of Duty all the time, stop buying the fucking game.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I stopped playing COD. I think it was was it Infinite Warfare? No, Modern Warfare. Yeah. Modern Warfare. Like the new Modern Warfare. Before that I dropped off because Warzone was free, so I played Warzone for a bit, and then I completely dropped off. FIFA, I think I dropped out in like 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stopped playing FIFA in FIFA 20. Like so, right around that time, like I just stopped. I just stopped paying $70 for this games because I'm not. Why am I paying $70 for the same game I'm getting? Again, specifically with the sports games, and I will say I'm The only game I'll do every single year is the WWE games because I love the WWE games. I'll buy those every year, and I do not care. I'll pay the $70 for it because I love those games. And 9 times out of 10, those games are actually pretty solid, and they do, in my opinion, they do enough to change up certain things. They add things enough. It's not really the thing, but I get why people get sports games because it's a new roster. The overalls are fixed. I get that reason, and they understand it. The
They could
developers
push that
understand
in
that
an update. They could push
they
it in
can
an
do
update.
that. Just give if you want, I'll pay I'll pay $5 for an updated roster. I'll pay $10 for an updated game mode. But I don't need to be buying Madden 26 next year if there's not going to be enough games. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not buying Madden 20. I'm probably not buying the new college football game next year unless they drastically change my favorite mode, which is Dynasty. I'm glad I have college football 25 and it's a great game and I needed it. We hadn't had it in 10 plus years. But if they don't change enough for college football 26 and they don't expand on Dynasty mode, I'm not picking that up. And I probably, even if they do, I probably won't pick it up day one because I can just go back and play a really good fucking football game now. And that's the thing. And that's how I feel. I feel like people just complain about annual releases, but they're still lining up and dropping $70 on these games. And the developers are never.
These annual releases need to go to some sort of subscription service.
Yeah, they really do, and they never will because they're people are money hungry and they're companies and they that's just how business fucking works. But it's like, ultimately, business will stop getting it, and if you really like your games that much, you will put your foot down and you'll enjoy a game because at the end of the day, there is no difference between Madden 21 and Madden 25 other than a couple dynamic differences. Then maybe some small gameplay tweaks. That's about it. There's nothing else going on.
Nothing
They're not
they can't change in the back.
anything. Yeah, there's nothing that they can't change in the back end. They're not revamping the graphics. They're not They might revamp the presentation styles, but nothing is changing that signifies that you should be giving them $70 every single year if you're just gonna bitch and complain about the game. So stop. Put your money where your mouth is. Let the developers know you want better games, and guess what? If the Madden sales drop down from 25 to 26, then guess what? I bet 27 will be a much better game than 25 and 26. And that's just how I feel about EA releases.
Yep.
Stop complaining. Just put your money where your mouth is. Stop buying the damn game. Just stop. All right.
Cool. Right. So we're on to the Pokemon hot takes. So I did have one, but we've kind of already touched on it, which was there hasn't been a good remake.
Yeah.
So we've already covered that one. So I'll skip over that. I mean, we could give it a gloss.
Okay, let's talk about it because I do have something along the lines of a remake take on Pokemon. So
yeah, there just hasn't been a good remake ever. Yeah, in my opinion.
Okay,
they have never ever fixed what we wanted.
So you don't think Heart Gold and Soul Silver was a better remake?
It was a way better. It was better, but it didn't fix the issues that the games had. So I'm currently playing it through now. So I have my rose tinted goggles have been ripped off. I'm still enjoying playing it, and I think the content is great. They could have fixed the level differences.
Okay, fair.
The level scaling is absolutely god awful.
Yeah, it is. It's trash.
I'm going into the Elite Four with 40s, and then you do your rematches at 60, and then guess what? The next battle after that is red, and it's 80. Good luck grinding. I'm grinding before the first gym. If I want a team that's on level cap with Faulkner, I'm having to grind. I've played 4-5 hours of the game. I haven't even done Bellsprout Tower yet because I'm still grinding my team up. That's how bad the level grinding is.
That's fair. That's fair.
BDSP didn't fix anything. They thought they could just get away with a one-to-one remake. That was ruined. Maybe Let's Go is a good option for a remake. It's not exactly a remake though. It's its own game.
Yeah.
Fire Red, Leaf Green again. Same issues. It's just the same game with 7 new islands on the back, and a bit of colorization. What else have we got in terms of remakes? Nothing.
Not a whole lot.
Oh, Oras. Oras is kind of cool. Delta episode again. Meh.
Oras was. I think if you're gonna I think I agree what you're saying. There hasn't been a quote unquote good remake, but I also feel like it's kind of crazy for us, and unless your opinion is going to change on Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I think it's crazy of us to literally say that Heart Gold and Soul Silver is our favorite and best Pokemon game ever made, and it be a crappy remake. Because I think it's honestly a great remake. Because I get one. Like I get the level cap and I get the leveling thing. That's always been a problem with Gold and Silver. It always was. But the Pokeathlon Dome, I think, was actually a lot of fun. I think that's actually a really cool thing. They added a fuck ton of post game shit. Like they added a battle frontier. The safaris, and while it's a little different, it's still kind of fun to do. They had the fucking Pokemon walking behind you, which is a fucking game changer. Like I think obviously they did it the best, and I think it is a good remake. I disagree with you on that one. All your other questions, other remakes, I agree with. I think ORAS passes as a remake. It's definitely. I don't think ORAS. I think honestly, for me, I think we didn't even need an Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire remake. Nope. I think Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald are perfect games. I think they're really good games.
They only on their own, and they didn't need and Soaring around. They didn't really need. But...
Yeah, they didn't really add anything different. They changed up the characters and had a little bit of story difference. Fire Red and Leaf Green, just a better version of Red. Like these are just better versions of the game. Now, my hot take coming off on the remakes is I think we overhate BDSP, and the only reason why we overhate BDSP is because it wasn't made by Game Freak. I think if that shit had Game Freak on it, we would not bitch. That's it. No, I told. What does everyone say? Ilka fucked it up. No one says Game Freak fucked it up. Ilka.
That's true.
Ilka. It's because it was done by Ilka. It was not done by Game Freak. See, if we got Game Freak to do it, it would have been a lot different. No, it wouldn't have. It would have just had Game Freak on it, and we were like, oh, cool. No, we're just bitching at it because Ilka did it, and it was a 1-to-1 remake. Yeah, I get that. And again, I don't fucking like BDSP. I think BDSP is trash. But I also don't really like Diamond and Pearl that much. I like Platinum. I don't like Diamond and Pearl either that much. I think Diamond and Pearl is a fine game, don't get me wrong. Platinum's a better game. And they remake the wrong fucking game. They should have remade fucking Platinum. But I think people hate it because it's not done by Game Freak. I think if this game was made by Game Freak and it was the same fucking game, no one would be complaining.
Yep.
No one.
I agree.
No one would say shit about the Chibi art styles. No one would say shit that it was a 1-to-1 remake. And we're like, oh gosh, that was a hard Elite Four. That was really, really good. Oh wow, actually the in-game battles look really, really good. Like all the good things that we now know about BDSP by like taking off our hate goggles for it and like actually looking at it for what it is. It's honestly not that bad of a fucking game. It's literally just BDSP.
They give you online battles as well. That was one good thing about a remake that they didn't have to give us. They actually let us Wi-Fi battle on there.
Yeah, and it's
which was cool.
Overall it's a fine game.
They've always
overhated it.
They've always missed. They've never learned from the mistakes of the old game and corrected those. Then give us a little bit extra, because that's what
they definitely missed.
Again, like we said earlier in the podcast, if you're gonna remake it, fix it, and then give us a little bit extra. That's all we ask. Pokemon have missed every generation. That being said, the spin-offs are going very well. The Legends games are way. I'd much rather have a Legends game than a BDSP.
All right, I'm done with remakes. Do not give me a Black and White 3. Do not give me a Black and White
awesome.
remake.
That would be awesome.
I will be pissed. I will be like, fuck off. I don't want to go back. I'm staying in fucking Kalos right now. I'm not going there.
Talking about Black and White, here comes another one. Black and White story isn't good. It's just convoluted with egotistical bad boys. For the listeners, Luke has just walked out of the room. Yeah, I think the plot is like it's not fantastic. It's not fantastic until the plot twist at the very, very end. It's a very weird, basic, like you don't really know what's going on until the very end of the game. It's just N trying to convince you that Getsis is bad, and Getsis just trying to convince you that he is good, and then the end they just swap. It's a battle of values and ideals.
Okay, first of all, hold the phone. First of all, N wasn't trying to convince anyone that Getsis was bad in the first game. N thought Getsis was his fucking dad in the first game. And I I think the cool thing about Black and White is because it actually posed the question of, are Pokemon trainers good people? Because obviously you see parts of them, like we're taking these Pokemon in the wild, we are quote unquote catching them, and then if we're a trainer, we're forcing them to battle for our enjoyment. Like that's the bad way of looking at it. And I think that's a cool question to pose, which I think is specific to a child playing this game. Like that's a pretty like, am I doing the right thing? Like I think that's a cool morality thing that they have kind of going on throughout it. My thing about the story that I don't like is I don't like how the ending, they're like, I guess this is just evil all along. That's lame.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. That's lame.
That's my biggest hit point. Like they build up
and that's
around this thing, like this big story plot, and then at the end they just go psych, and then that's meant to be like the epic point,
the twist, right?
There is no, and it's just not. It's just a flat like
that part does indeed suck, but the build up to it was really, really fucking good. Like I love the tower scene where Reshiram or Zekrom comes in and is like, I'm the right person, you're the wrong person. I love that because it's really just a battle of two different ideologies, and clearly Ends is right and wrong and kind of warped in the wrong way. But it's like you still got someone's like, no, they're my friends, versus like, no, my Pokemon are my friends, but I don't make them do anything. I am letting them do it. He's like, but I'm doing the same thing. You just can't see it. I like that story element. I think that's why it's so good, because it's not just, oh, we have a good villain. It's like, no, we have a good story going up to the buildup of who the actual villain is. Now, was it a predictable outcome? Yes. Now, is Black and White 2 story any great? It's not that great. I'll give that. Black and White story is great. But to say it's not good it's fucking wild. It's a hot take, but you, sir, your hot take is fuck that. Fuck that and fuck your opinion. I'm just kidding.
All right, look.
Well, you're gonna you already know where I'm about to go. I've said this shit a long time, but I'm going in on this game right now. Pokemon Sun and Moon are the worst Pokemon games, mainline series games ever made. And it should be considered a failure by Pokemon. Because if we sit there and look at it, Z-moves are completely gone. They tried to do something completely different with getting rid of gyms just to bring them back in the next game. The storyline was absolutely trash. First of all, there's so many problems with the game in general. The first fucking game fucking took me 3 hours to get to the point where I'm getting my first fucking Pokemon. I don't care about Tapu Koko and his bullshit. All right? I also don't give a fuck about the gym trials. Oh, what are these things doing? Oh, they're getting me ready to create the first ever Pokemon. That's a cool concept, but they failed at delivering the fucking concept.
I'm good.
All the Pokemon.
Just while you're in there, what? My next one is totems are better than gyms.
Shut the fuck up! No, they're not. They are not better than fucking gyms, sir. No, they're not. How are they better? You battle one I'm cooking fucking food to battle a Pokemon. That's not a fucking gym. That's not fucking a challenge. Oh, pick out which Saladin's dancing weird, or the Mirror is dancing weird, and it turns out it's a fucking Saladin. That's not a trial. It's not difficult. If you don't know how to play Pokemon, maybe you can fucking do it. Maybe we're doing a fucking Nuzlocke. Yeah, the Komodo one was the most challenging one, but I still one-shot that bitch because it fucking over-leveled me because the game is fucking for children. The storyline was ass. The Aether Foundation was a failed thing. Team Skull, Guzma was cool, but Team Skull itself was trash. There's no challenge in the game. You go up there and you go battle the first ever Pokemon and you become the first champion. That's the only cool part about the game. The Pokemon in Gen 7, I've learned to love. I'll say that. I've learned to love them. But when they first came out, I fucking hated them more than I hated Gen 5's Pokemon. I hated Gen 5's Pokemon. I despised Gen 5's. I despised Gen 7 at the time so much more. Now, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, did a lot to fix the game. I'll give them that. Definitely a much better experience. But Sun and Moon itself, there's a reason why they tried so much different stuff to do something cool, and it's no longer there.
Yeah, they said, the base games, I'll agree with, were lackluster.
They did not. Yeah, and then the gimmicks, the whole thing, they were trying to change things up a little bit. Mainline games said, fuck that. We're going back to fucking gyms. We're going back to a normal fucking story, and we are not fucking doing a 3-hour prologue for you to get a fucking Pokemon. Those games are trash, and Gen 7, honestly, worst gen, and there's a reason why people don't. There's a reason why the Pokemon Company has not touched on Alola since. They're like kind of just done with Alola. They're not even touching Alola. They're like, goodbye.
I love
you can love it all you want, but I don't care.
I'll counter the because mine is my hot case is totems are better than gyms. No one has a problem with Scarlet and Violet's gyms, and all that is you just walk in there and battle the gym leader and you're out.
Yeah.
Like that's not a challenge. And plus they do have mini challenges before that. So there's a trial and then a battle instead of a trial and then a big boss. I think
I had a
totems were infinitely harder.
I had a tumbleweeds in Scarlet Violet. Yeah. That was a challenge. That thing fucking sucked. Yeah. Actually, that was hard. That was tough. That was a challenge.
And the traditional gym that everyone did, let's be honest, we all skipped the trainers and just go straight to the gym leader. Like, and you get really annoyed when you couldn't skip the trainers. Everyone would.
I did it.
And then the gym puzzles, let's be honest.
They're tough.
Some are pretty good. Some are pretty good. Absolute fucking garbage.
Go find the trash can. Go find the key in the trash can again. Can you do that again? No, probably not. All right.
I would much rather have the trials and then the big. Mainly it's the totems. The totems are better than gym leaders. Gym leaders, they use the same type Pokemon. They're easy to steamroll. They have zero planning to them. Like I swear that half of the gym leaders teams are just garbage. Like they're too easy to beat. You tell me that Totem Araquanid wasn't hard to beat. That thing was in the rain with a plus attack boost. It swept everything. Plus, then it starts calling allies. It basically becomes a 2-on-1.
Yeah, if you don't know how to play the game, but the game gives you so many tools to make it easy. Like even a 6-year-old.
That's every.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, that's the thing. Like, okay, that's cool. Like, they made it more challenging. Cool. Ultra Necrozma, the toughest thing Pokemon's ever done. I'll give them that. That was a challenge. I toxic stalled that bitch. All right, but at the end of the day,
I don't think gyms has ever been harder and ever more of a challenge than it felt. They felt to me that totems felt to me that what a gym badge should be.
Whitney's Miltank.
Nah. It's tough. It's just people don't know how to play around it.
Morty, it's cursing Gengar. No.
You have to go back to Gen 2 for these. And they're only broken because the game isn't patched.
Whatever. They're not.
Which is also leads on to one of my. I need to let you go.
Kamoa's the only tough totem. That's the only thing you'll get out of me. And Ultra Necrozma. All the other totems were not a challenge. So the mini game before that.
To one of my other hot takes, if you don't mind me.
The mini game before you. Go ahead. The mini. Just go.
Cynthia was an overrated champion, and she wouldn't be hard to beat if the game didn't handcuff you into worse Pokemon. Tell me what the game gives you to beat her.
A Dialga, a Palkia, a Giratina. That's how you beat Cynthia.
You can't get Giratina, but that's post-game.
9 Platinum.
Well, fair enough. Still, she's not hard to beat. She's not a good champion. She's boring. She's held up.
Wait,
she's held up by the anime.
Hard to beat? No. She's not hard to beat? She's
held
up by the anime. The anime, first of all.
You tell me what she does in the storyline. You tell me what she does in the storyline. She bangs on about the law, and then she turns up at the tower and be like, "Oh wow, sorry." She doesn't do anything to beat she doesn't do anything to beat the evil team. She doesn't help anyone.
Neither does any champion. Neither does any champion, though.
They're always there.
Champion? No, they're not.
Alder does it. Fuck, Lance did it.
Alder is not. First of all, Alder is not fucking there doing shit. Alder is just walking around minding his own fucking business. All right, he's fucking living life. He's a retired old man smoking a joint. That's what Alder is doing. All right. Lance tried to kill people. All right, his Dragonite hyper being the motherfucker. All right, Lance is a poor example. Lance said, "Fuck these bitches."
He was there. He was there. Front line.
I'll give you Lance. Steven, he was just looking for fucking fossils.
Leon's technically still there. Like
Leon did something.
He was trying to battle the fake evil team, whatever his name was, Professor Rose.
Yeah, he was. Leon sucked. I mean, but come on, bro. She's what would you say? She's the worst, or she's just overrated?
She's overrated. She's not the worst.
She is by far.
She's only hard from levels because she has the highest ever level given to an NPC.
She has the most balance. She is by far, when it comes to champions in the game, she's by far the most balanced, has the best team because she just does. And your argument that they don't give you anything to beat her, and that's why she's tough. No, they definitely give you stuff to beat her, but she's still hard as fuck to beat because you can use a Frost Blast for the Garchomp if you want. You can, like, to beat the Garchomp. That's the big diff. You can use a Frost Blast. They give you a fucking Snow Run. You could use Abomasnow. The Garchomp's not doing shit against the bot. They give you the tools, but there's a reason because they're fucking EV trained and they have abilities and as actually a semi-competitive singles team Pokemon.
So what if they did that for every other champion? Would she be on the same page?
I think 9 times out of 10, I think the only one that because she also is, I think, one of the very few champions that does not have a standard type team. Steven's Pokemon all around Steel and Rock. Wallace's Pokemon all Water types. Lance's all Dragon types.
I think after Cynthia, I think they mixed it up a bit.
I think was Diantha's the Diantha. No, Diantha had a mix. Okay, fair. Okay. Yeah. I can't remember. Well, that's because they're not fucking memorable. All right, that's why they're not. None of the champions are memorable. And I think Cynthia is by far the best champion because she is still memorable. And your question about the anime, that's bullshit. Because she doesn't do shit in the anime. She has one little arc for 4 episodes, and Diamond and Pearl.
And that's more than she ever did in the series, in the game.
But it doesn't mean that people liked her because of the show, because she was barely in the fucking show.
It's more than she ever did.
Okay, if you said they like her because Pokemon Company drew her as an attractive woman, and that's why people like her, I'll give you that one. But that's about it. If you came with me with that, I'd be like, fair enough, because people be lusting over Cynthia, this drawn ass character. Fair enough, I'll give you that. But don't go out there and throw the anime out there. Don't throw out the anime, sir. Sir, check yourself.
Overrated. Right, Leaky Boy, you've got 2 back to back because I've stepped in twice. Oh my
god, wild over here, man. I am upset. Yeah, so I think too much water is a fair critique for Ruby and Sapphire. I think that's a fair fucking critique. I get that the region is in the water, but there is too much water. You cannot tell me you enjoy surfing from fucking Lily Cove all the way to fucking
Pacific
Moss Deep to Pacific Log. That is not an enjoyable experience.
Yeah,
it is not. If you don't have fly, you're not. And the second you get fly, you're not saying I'm going to go surf from fucking Lily Cove to Pacific Log. No, you're not. You're not doing that. I think it's a fair critique. I mean, is it enough to be 8.5 out of 10? Not enough water. I mean, I dock it down a point. It's a lot of water, and it makes traversal a bitch. It really does. Specifically in the fucking old games. Oras definitely the same way, but I think that's a fair fucking critique. I think it's a meme at this point, but it's a fair critique for a game where I think
tough.
Because there's nothing you can do.
you've got to think, right? There's a whole reason why half of it's water.
Yeah,
Because it's
I get the
Kyogre versus
reason behind
Groudon.
it.
Like, it has to be that way.
But they could have made it easier they could have made it enjoyable. It's not enjoyable. It's a log, it's a trodge. All you're fighting are fucking Wailmer and Tentacle.
That like the game becomes very tedious when you're just staring at a full screen of blue tiles.
Yeah, and you do that for, I would say, half the games on land and half the games on water. And I get it because it's a battle between land. I get that purpose of it. But they could have done something in those games to make the traversal easier, more fun and enjoyable. Maybe make the water routes have more of a variety of Pokemon. Maybe have more interesting battles. Maybe have more areas to explore on the water besides the main city points. I get they added dive in there, but they didn't. The dive feature is honestly probably the most
that was wasted. You're right.
You're only catching Lantern and Relicanth down there, anyways. And so I mean, I get it why, but I think it's a fair critique, and I think it's probably, honestly, if I'm being honest about Ruby and Sapphire, probably my least favorite part about those games are the mandatory parts where I have to go from Lillicove to Moss Deep to fucking find a little tiny little body of water to go to Sootopolis to come back up and trudge through another, feels like 20 minutes of traversal even to get to fucking Pacific Lodge Town just to get to Sky Tower to fall through a bunch of fucking tiles and shit. So like it's a frustrating part, and I think they could have done better from a game design point of view. I think they could have done better to make that part enjoyable, because I know what story-wise why they were doing it and level design why they did it. They could have done it better, and they didn't. And I think too much water is a fair critique for that game.
Yeah, that bottom right-hand corner where Evergrande is, they could have slapped another city there.
It's rough. It's rough. Yeah. It's a rough trudge if you don't have fly. Because I'll tell you right now, no one's fucking having fun going out there like, I'm gonna go surf all the way down. No one's doing that once you get fly. All right, because it was not fun. All right, so that's get off the high horse, guys. IGN was right. There was too much water. Sorry. IGN was right. And then
back
to back. We do not need a new core Pokemon game every 2+ years. We don't need it. We need to chill. We need to enjoy the games, and I think we don't need. I know why they do it from a business perspective, because they've got merch, they've got TV deals, they've got they got everything. I get it from a business perspective, but we as fans do not need a new generation of Pokemon every 2 to 3 years. And we're getting burnt. I think overall we're getting burnt out on new Pokemon. I think the designs overall have been not great. And as recent trends have shown us, from Sword and Shield to Scarlet and Violet to, I think Legends CAs will be fine, and I think they'll be fine because they're finally taking their fucking time. And I think Game Freak is finally putting more fucking people in the room because they realize, oh wait, we're not a small developer company anymore. We're actually one of the biggest fucking IPs in the entire world, and we're gonna start acting like it. We don't need a new Pokemon game every single year, every other 2 years, because I think we need to let certain games sit and breathe. And if the games are given the quality that they need to, like hopefully Generation 10 will, we can go 3 or 4 years without a new Pokemon game, because I think they can have staying power with DLC, good story, good gameplay mechanics, fun world design, not a laggy, buggy, fucking bullshit system like Scarlet and Violet was. But I think it just goes to show that they never took the time to, and this is how game development is. By the time they're finishing working on a game, they're already working on the next game. Right? There's no one's fully locked, and that's just how game development is. But I'm okay. I'm happy we're getting Legends EA, and if we don't get Generation 10 till 2027, I'll be okay. I don't think it will, because I think we'll get it for the 30th anniversary. I think that's their plan. But I don't need another mainline. I'll be fine staying in ZA for 2 years. I'll be fine if they want to do ZA and then do. Even though I don't want another fucking remake, but if they do another remake, and I can sit in a remake for another year and wait. Like, we just don't need one the release cycle for Pokemon has been becoming very competitive. I mean, not competitive, repetitive, and I'm getting tired of it.
I agree with that hot take. I'm with you on that one. I'm looking down my list because I've gone in like slight orders because we've touched on different points.
I've got 3 more. That's how much I got.
I think I got 2.
Okay.
Do you want to take another one then, and then we'll go 2 for 2.
I'll take another one because my last 2 I'm pretty passionate about. This one I am kind of passionate about, but it's still Pokemon related, but it's not specifically related to the games. Old Pokemon cards should not cost as much to get, and the pack should not be more because the card art is god awful. The card art on some of these cards are not good. Like I get the idea, like, oh, I want to have an old card, and it's cool to have the first ever Charizard card. But put up a Charizard card against any of the newer Charizard cards that are coming out and tell me which ones are better looking. Definitely the new ones. Yes, of course, it's newer age and stuff like that. But people hunting over specific Pokemon cards because they want an old vintage card. And it's never because it looks good. It's because it's old. Like, I don't know too many people who are like, oh my God, I need to get the first ever Umbreon. No, that first Umbreon card is fucking god awful looking. It's not a good looking card. It's the first one. And I think it's ridiculous. I think we need to chill out. And I just think Pokemon cards in general, people need to chill the fuck out with these goddamn cards.
Yeah,
y'all chill the fuck out. These are fucking pieces of fucking cardboard.
I feel sorry for the TCG scene, to be honest. I do.
I feel sorry for the TCG scene that has to get cards to play their games. I feel sorry for children who want to open up packs of Pokemon cards. I feel sorry for collectors, maybe like myself, who maybe want to get, let's just say, want to get a collection of every specific, like if I want every Raikou card ever, because I'll never get every Charizard card, so I'll go bankrupt. But there's no reason why I should fucking go out there and have to pay $1,000 for the first ever Raikou for a shitty card because it's the first one. Yes, it's a cool card. I like the card art for it, but like it's like the hobby itself is too fucking expensive now.
Yeah, it's become
toxic. It's at this point, it's not even a hobby. It seems like it's just a fucking business because you got an investment because you got to invest your fucking money to get cards because you're not going to your brick and mortar stores anymore and finding Pokemon. I cannot tell you the last time I've been to Walmart
is just by
overproducing.
Yeah,
reprint the fuck out of it. Fuck y'all.
151, like that reprint is the most like sought after set because of how many arts there are, like how many arts and
the arts are cool. They are.
Yeah, just print the ever living hell out of it. Like
I want give me a fucking 25th anniversary and reprint every fucking old card that you can get your hands on. Drop down those vintage cards prices. I'm just so tired of it.
I understand why they took it with prismatic evolutions, but it kind of fueled the fire. So I could see the business mind behind it of like, if we just decrease the pull rates, then maybe people will be like less inclined to just blast shit tons of money at it. But what it's done is just like reignited the fire of everyone's like, well, now I need to buy like 10 boxes instead of 5 because I'm not going to get the cards that I'm chasing. Or like I need to have some sort of chance that the card I'm chasing. It's not good. And I don't there is only one way of doing it, and it's mass print. Like 100% mass print. Or they start selling singles on on the actual Pokemon site.
Yeah. That's it. I don't think they'll do that because that takes the fun out of it. But if they do it, that's a way to solve it. It just needs to do better. There is no reason why Pokemon cards should cost that much, even the vintage cards. Because if we're looking at them as art pieces, the art on the older cards, they're not fucking great. They're nowhere near the new quality of the Scarlet and Violet era or even the Sword and Shield era. Like they're not good arts, in my opinion. Like the first, go look up the first, because they're just most of them. They're just standard Ken Sugimori at like the first ever Blaziken card is really Blaziken as you see him in a guidebook in a card. Yeah, that card's like $70 fucking for a fucking shitty version of the card. God forbid you want a first edition. Like, but like it's just like the game. I get the vintage aspect, but like certain cards should not cost
you
that
touched on
much
it there.
money.
If it's first edition, fair enough. Like,
Fair enough.
it's got the stamp, it's worth big money. But all the other just standard prints, like, I guess that
not
they
even
don't
near
make them
like.
anymore, but like,
I get it, but but the thing is, like, even cars that are not even near mint. Like, if I want, like, I was looking at it and I was like, if I want the first Ryko that I wanted, and I want it, just a raw card on the TCG player, because it's the only way you can get those cards on eBay, to a fair edition, which is probably got scratches and scruffs, messed up edges, it's still like $200-$300.
yep.
Right? It's not even mint. It's not
and
even
I think
near mint.
I did see a story about like people. There are like mass buyers that are all in like a syndicate together, ready to bump cards up. So I think I was looking at a Baxcalibur one. Previous set, full art, looks really cool. It's like almost like a stained glass type color.
Yeah.
I always, when I first looked at it, I wish I'd bought it because it was like $8. It's now $95.
Yeah.
Because these like syndicates have just decided we're now going to buy them all and then rack the price up.
That's it. That's what it is. It's unfortunate, and it needs to stop.
Funny enough, my next hot take you'll probably agree with. Follows on from a bit of the TCG actually, and it's 3 words. Evolutions are overhyped. I do not know where Umbreon got this status from.
Yeah, me neither, dude. I thought Umbreon was like a cool pick. Like, it wasn't the popular pick. I thought it was the edgy pick. Like, because it's just a black thing. It's just a.
I tell you now, when
Pokemon
Colosseum came out, I guarantee half of the people boxed Umbreon.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it and I don't get it at the same time. I don't agree with. I get why they're hyped because it's such a unique thing. Like, it's a unique thing in the Pokemon world that, in the sense, you got one little fluffy thing and it can turn into 9 different. Is it 9? Is it 9? I think it's 9.
I think it's soon to be 9.
Soon to be 8 or 9 evolutions, I think, at this point. And let's see, Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Leafeon, Glaceon.
Because there's like 9 special
Umbreon,
types, right?
Sylveon. Okay, yes, it's 8 right now. So yeah, there's 8 evolutions, and yeah, it's just like, I get why it's such a cool gimmick, but yeah, they are overhyped. I don't know why, especially Umbreon. I get Umbreon is the cool one. Like, if you were to pick a cool one out of the group that's not like edgy like Jolteon. Like, Jolteon's like a 6-year-old boy. His best fucking cool thing is a spiky yellow electric dog thing. But like, Umbreon, I think it's like a low key, like the most low key of the Pokemon. It is by far the coolest evolution. It's my third favorite Pokemon for a reason, because it's a black dog thing and with a fucking it's simplistic at its best, and it's super.
It's good
cool.
design,
but it's a good design. But the hype beyond it, I don't know when Umbreon became so fucking popular. I don't like. It's like the Moonbreon came out, and then everyone and their mother thought Umbreon was cool. Like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a cool card. I remember me, you, and Jack were sitting on there looking at the cards, and we're like, oh, that's a cool card. Like, I really want to get that card. That's cool.
Yeah,
and now it's like.
But if I remember correctly, that set was the set with Blaziken, right? And they had the really cool, like...
that was the set before Blaziken.
Oh, okay. So, but like, I remember looking like the Blaziken card, and that was like super cool. Was it the set with like Galarian Moltres, where they had like that really cool Galarian Moltres? Like,
it was the set before that. Yeah.
Yeah, they look at like those type of cards. It's like, yeah, cool. And I think it was in the midst of all the trainer stuff as well. Like, you could get like Clay's Excadrill.
But to your point, like, I don't get where the hype came from, because in the nicest way possible, yes, those card arts are cool. Like, they're pretty looking cards, but they're not like, oh my god, I want to sell my first kid for this. Like, it's not like they're not that gorgeous of cards. Like,
yeah, I'm just
especially
maybe it's because I'm not an Eevee stan.
I'm not that big of an Eevee stan. I get like why people like Eevee, and I get why they like the evolutions, but I don't get where all of a sudden they're at this level where they're like, we're talking like Charizard, Pikachu, Mewtwo, Greninja-esque like levels
Umbreon.
of
like Umbreon's behind
like,
Pikachu at this point, like just behind
it feels
Pikachu.
like it. It feels like it. It really does, and that's crazy to me.
Like Charizard has taken a back seat in the TCG, and I never thought I would say that.
Yeah, Charizard, you can get it. You can go buy a Charizard card for $500. You can't.
Umbreon, you got no chance. Thousands.
Bro, I get it. It's overhyped. I love the evolutions. I think they're cool, but they are overhyped in the sense that they're just fucking Pokemon. They're they're very basic design Pokemon at that. Yep. Like the most outrageous design one is probably Sylveon. All the other ones is Flame Dog, Water Gill Dog, Spiky Electric Dog, Dog with Ruby on middle of head because it's psychic, Dark Dog because it's black, Ice Dog because it's got ice, Leaf Dog because it's got leaves. Like that's it. Like it's not anything like groundbreaking. We're not like talking about Darkrai, who's got a lore of eating fucking children's dreams and nightmares, or a fucking at this point, like I think Flamigo's more creative than some of these evolutions, and it's just a fucking flamingo. But it's a cool flamingo, and it's called Flamigo because it's your friend.
Okay, Lucky boy,
it's your amigo.
You said you're passionate about your last two, so why don't you rip them off together, and then I will finish up.
No, I think.
You want a grand reveal? Should I go in mine and then you do the last two, or you want? I'll
do one by. Well, let's do one by because I think my last one. It's pretty spicy, I think, in my opinion. Ooh. Now, first one because you mentioned Charizard. All right. Charizard is not overrated. It is a perfectly rated Pokemon. People do not like it because it's popular and they want it to be, and they want something different. You cannot tell me that you can look at Charizard and be like, I don't like Charizard. Bullshit. I don't believe you. I think you are a hater because it's popular. And you know what? Fine. But it's popular for a reason because it's a well-designed, peak-designed Pokemon. They gave it a lot of love because it deserved a lot of love. Like, honestly, people should not like Charizard if you grew up watching the anime because actually Charizard was a bitch. He's an asshole for a good long period, and he stayed with it long enough. He had to rub that shit, thaw that shit out from a Poliwrath ice beam for him to become friends. And then 4 episodes later, he's gone in the Charcific Valley. He's got cool moments, don't get me wrong, but like the Charizard hype is because it's a well-designed Pokemon, and people who like, oh, you like Charizard because you're a Gen 1 or da-da-da. It's like, no, Charizard was my favorite Pokemon because I fucking grew up with him, and he's a well-designed Pokemon. Like, people are like, I can't be a Charizard fan because he gets too much love. Bullshit. You're just mad your fucking Toucannon over here isn't getting love. I'm sorry. At least I picked a cool Pokemon.
You take Toucannon out of your mouth.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Alola. I thought of the first Pokemon in Alola, which is a good thing because that means it's the only Pokemon I probably even likes. But that's what I'm saying. Like, people who overly hate Charizard, like, I think it's their thing to be like, I hate Charizard because he's super cool. It's like the same people who hate Taylor Swift. All right. Like, literally, Charizard's the Taylor Swift of Pokemon. Like, you hate Taylor Swift because she's popular. She comes out with good music. People love her for various reasons. She's a cool person. Honestly, she might have some issues because she flies a private jet everywhere, and that's not good for the environment. But like, besides that, she's a great role model for girls. So she just comes out with good music. Charizard's a great Pokemon. He's a well-designed Pokemon. He's a fire-breathing dragon that you can get at the first of your game. He deserves the love that he gets. And then he gets the cool things because he's a cool Pokemon. And I'm sorry, guys. Charizard was not a good Pokemon until it got a fucking Mega Y. So we had about 12 years before Charizard was quote-unquote good. And then he finally was quote-unquote God tier when he got a Dynamax. Okay, that took about 25 fucking years. So people are, he gets all the love because everyone loves him and he deserves to be good. All right. Sorry that your favorite Pokemon doesn't get as much love. Trust me, I love Raiko. He's my second favorite, and he gets no love. All right, I get the frustration.
That man is left in the past.
But you do not hear me bitching about Entei and Suicune because they got movies. Okay, I quietly sit back and enjoy my second favorite Pokemon, and I'm happy that the one I like is super cool. And I'm sorry if that upsets people, and I'm sorry that they think he gets everything. He deserves it because he's a great Pokemon. I may have gone
against you, but given what we've just talked about with the Umbreon, I'm inclined to agree with you. Because it is artificial love and hate because the Pokemon Company have run with it, and be prepared for the same thing to happen to Umbreon. Like, Umbreon will now get the Pokemon Company's love, and don't be surprised in future games where it may get a different form, or it might get, like, a story arc, because, like, obviously, there is demand for it. That's all they did with Charizard. Like, Charizard, there was demand for, so they provided what people wanted. Granted, in the games, they could have balanced it a bit better, but I mean, like, the Dynamax stuff was only good because of Groudon. Like, the mechanics of the game played better into Charizard's favor than, because Venusaur and Blastoise all got the same. It's the same move. It's just a different type. That's all it is. And then with yes, granted, with the Megas, I think originally there was only going to be Y, because that makes sense visually and basically, like, mentally, like, you're going up and you get drought. I think they gave it X just because, again, artificial popularization, and everyone wanted it to be dragon type. So they gave you what you wanted, and then you hated it. Like, what more do you want?
There's literally a clip of me saying I got an erection when I first saw Charizard X. It's because it's everything that any
I think people
Pokemon
hate it
fan
because
wanted.
Like, the TCG cards cost a bomb, and the consumer knows that Pokemon knows that if you put a Charizard in the pack in the set is going to sell better, and it's the same thing with Umbreon now. There will be an Umbreon in every other set.
It's true.
Because
it will be in this.
That's just the way it's going to be.
Stop hating on Charizard. He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't. Deserve
it. He's a good boy or girl. All right, leave him alone, and then leave them alone.
Is it my go? Is it my last one?
I think you said you had two more.
Two more.
Maybe one more. I don't know.
I think it's just one. I'm looking
at my list. Fire off.
And it's an overarching one for Pokemon, and I think it's going to be a hot take, but I think you need to put your hindsight glasses on. Sword and Shield has been the best entry in the series. Like, the whole games. Think about it.
Okay. I don't hate that take.
So you've got to look at, like, pre-Switch era, right? There's always been something wrong with a game. Then we hit, let's go back. Pre-3D era, there's always been something wrong with a game, whether that be leveling or connectivity or, just, like, too much water. Then we go into 3D era, and everyone's like, models are garbage, don't like the look of it. Then when Oras came in, it's a remake, it's not a new thing. X and Y pacing issues. It generally doesn't capture the imagination. The storyline kind of falls apart in a way. Then we hit the Switch era, and Sword and Shield, I think, has mid storyline, but gave us everything that we thought Pokemon could ever be, and did it to a point where it wasn't as bad. Wild Area was slightly glitchy, but not so bad that it's unplayable. The routes and seeing Pokemon pop up, but also having the wild encounters, so you still have some sort of, like, element of surprise. The trainers were also, like, really good, very well planned. I've kind of brushed off Alola because, like, as Luke said, it had enough issues. You look at the gym leaders. Gym leaders all had a really good theme, stuck to it. I mean, look at Raihan at the end. He taught you how to do VGC. Like, that was a cool gym. You had what you had, I think it was a Sun team, then a Hail team, then he finished up with like a Sandstorm team in doubles, which is cool.
Mhm.
I liked the whole Dynamax episode where
Yeah.
you battle against the final boss. It very much like
Mhm.
Necrozma-esque.
Mhm.
Very much like that. Only shit side to the story is that Rose was just the worst, quote unquote, evil. There wasn't evil.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Team Yell was just Marnie's fan base.
Yeah.
And Rose did a Getsis, but had
Yeah.
no plot, which made it even
Yeah.
worse. So it's like, haha,
Mhm.
plot twist. I'm evil. It's like, oh, we could
Yeah.
have never have guessed. But that
Mhm.
aside, plus all of the rental teams, um, technically first introduction of being able to make competitive teams
Mhm.
outside of grinding, two
Yeah.
fantastic DLCs and Dynamax raids. The long plus the raids weren't actually that bad considering that Scarlet and Violet raids are unplayable. These
Yeah.
ones actually pretty good. Uh,
Yeah.
and then obviously the gimmick is a bit mid,
Mhm.
like, but
I like the gimmick.
it was very tailored towards VGC and captured the imaginations of the original player.
Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
fact that you could do the gimmick on everything.
Yeah.
Some had
And then the
Gigantamax forms, but
once.
some could
Yeah.
Dynamax. It wasn't like Megas
Yeah.
where you're locked into a certain set of
Mhm.
mons, and then Z moves kind of just were generic, and then other ones had little moves, I
Yeah.
guess. Dynamax was for everything. I think
Mhm.
for an all-rounded game, Sword and Shield has been the best entry in the Pokemon series ever. Rant
You
over.
know, when you put it like that, I definitely kind of agree with you because I think, yeah, when I think back to Sword and Shield, I think the only negative I have on it is the story, and and the wild area can be glitchy, but they solved all that with the DLC, birthplace of competitive Pokemon. If I'm going to tell someone to go play a Pokemon game on Switch, I'm not telling them Scarlet and Violet. I'm probably going to tell them Sword and Shield. Hey, I want to get into Pokemon. What game should I play first? I have a Switch. Oh, play Sword and Shield. Get the DLC. All right. Oh, what about Scarlet and Violet's cool. Gameplay's rough. Play Sword and Shield first so you enjoy it, so you can go to Scarlet and Violet and not be turned off on the Pokemon series. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think barring like I think every Pokemon game has their little nitpicks and stuff like that that you can dock it down there. But I think overall they get in a debut game for the Switch, for a Pokemon game on the Switch, a mainline Pokemon game, they did a really good job with that game.
Yep.
And I think I would agree with you. So it's a hot
I
take
miss it.
because not many. Yeah, I miss it too. I miss it too. I miss
And I
it
never
too.
thought I
Very,
would.
very
When you came
much.
to the end of it, everyone hated it. And now I miss it.
Yep. Everyone was ready to go to Scrum. Oh God, we're finally out of Sword and Shield. Thank God. I want to go back. Can we go back? Can we please? Oh boy. Oh boy. I think I saved the last one, the best one for last.
Oh god.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. It's a hot take. Um, Considering that we are a gaming and very Pokemon centric um podcast. And I might lose my Pokemon badges for this one. Digimon is better than Pokemon. It just is. It just is. Like the
You have
anime
2
itself.
minutes to explain yourself before I hit stop recording.
All right. Okay. First off, starting with the anime is much better. Like it's got a storyline, character development. The Digimon evolutions are really cool. Like it's cool. Yes, some of them go from animal gets a gun. That's kind of cool though. It's an edgier version, but it's the games itself. If you've actually gone and played a Digimon game, they are honestly some of them are better than Pokemon games. Now, I'm not saying all of them are. Some of them are kind of trash. But a lot of the Digimon games have great stories. They have great fun battle mechanics. The Digimons are cool. Digi Evolution's different because now you have branching evolution. So if you have one Mon, if you train it in a specific way, it can become this Digimon, or it can evolve into this Digimon. And they have branching evolution, so you can always go back and try to get a different evolution for it. Storyline's great. The only reason why Digimon's not nearly as popular as Pokemon is because it came out around the same time, and the marketing behind it, they marketed it towards children that liked Pokemon when they should have marketed it to kids who were just a little bit older than their demographic. And Digimon would have been. Ask anyone who's actually sat down and watched Digimon, played Digimon games, they will say they're overall a better gaming experience from a game perspective of everything put together. And the shows, the movies, the animes are so much better than what they gave with Pokemon. And the Tamagotchi thing, I got one of those things. Those things are fun.
I did have one of those.
And they're cool. And it started from Digimon. And this is true. I will die on that hill. I love Pokemon to death. It's my favorite thing in the entire fucking world. But looking from a critical perspective, if Digimon got the marketing that Pokemon got, and they targeted a little bit for the older demographic, like I'm saying, instead of targeting like 6 to 10 year olds, targeting like 8 to 13, we'd be in a different discussion. I really do. I think Digimon would be nothing would ever eclipse Pokemon, but Digimon would not be like people would not call Digimon knockoff Pokemon, because it's honestly nothing like Pokemon. Besides the fact that they are creatures that evolve. You don't even catch these things.
Yeah, I can sympathize with what you're saying in terms of they targeted it wrong. You can't put guns on something and then target it at like less than 10-year-olds, I guess.
Yeah, you can't.
Like it doesn't work like that. That being said, I haven't played many of the games. I did have the Walker. I think that was like hot property at some point.
Yeah, it was.
Hatching the eggs, and I can't remember what else he did on it. Really, there was like small battles, I think, but like, I think it's again, you kind of have to take your rose tinted glasses off and take Pokemon out of the picture and be like, what would have happened if Digimon would have had the traction? Would it have had the same amount of pacing that Pokemon has managed to do? I don't know. Is like, I suppose you can always just make new regions, new Digimon. Like it's the same thing. It's a creature catching game.
It's the same basis of everything, but it's.
I think they just missed by not being relative to like what Pokemon succeeded in was making an animal look slightly different and then generically following it until about like Gen 3, and then they ran out of animals. Digimon was completely fantasy, and I don't
sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah, they weren't ready. If they'd have launched maybe like 5 years later, where let Pokemon have its boom, and then come in and like be like, okay, you're all grown up now. What about this?
Yeah,
you might have been on the same playing field. But what was your hot take again? That it's better?
I think it's better overall. I think besides the fact that it's going up against the behemoth of Pokemon, I think everything that Digimon's put out, I think the games from a gameplay perspective, storyline and everything, are typically better than Pokemon. And specifically, really, what I'm really telling is the anime itself, so much better than Pokemon. Like it's night and day. But it's just like as to me, like if you take off the perspective, we talked about nitpicking on like certain things about games. The thing about Pokemon games is they're all repetitive, right? There isn't a single Digimon game that's out there that's a repetitive same game. There's not a Digimon 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all Digimon properties, but they're like taking Pokemon. Let's say Pokemon as a series, instead of having Red, it has Pokemon, your standard Pokemon game. Then they have Legends as a game, and they also have the Mystery Dungeon. That's Pokemon. Like that's what Digimon is. It's the IP in so many different games, and every game that they've done, to my knowledge, honestly, the ones that I've played, they've all been great experiences, fun gameplay, fun battle mechanics, fun typical evolution sets of things are a lot of fun. It's not like you're going to get to level 36 and then you're going to turn to this. You're going to get to level 10, and if you battle your Pokemon your Digimon a specific way, it's going to turn into this. If you invest it more into defense and HP, it's going to turn into this. And if you actually didn't train it right or well, it's going to turn evil, and it's going to turn into this one, and then it unlocks a whole other thing. and then there's a lot of rinse and repeat. So it's a lot of cool stuff going on.
They've got better ideas.
They're going with it. Yeah. And I think if they put the marketing behind it like Pokemon did, or they just, again, targeted it the right way, I don't think it would nearly be as big, but Digimon would be a normal thing to discuss when we were talking.
Yeah.
When we're talking about good games, good things that came out of the 90s.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I think you've made a good case. Same with me and Sword and Shield. You've made a good case.
Suck it. Digimon's awesome.
That was the plot twist that I did not expect at the end of
here's the other quick hot take real quick. The first ever Digimon movie outclasses the first Pokemon movie, hands down. Like, fight me. Soundtrack is amazing. They got bare naked ladies on that soundtrack, guys. It's fucking great. It's got 1 week. This kid's running through the city, and 1 week's playing around. He's got a laptop trying to save the world from literally the plot line of that movie is this Digimon has set a missile strike to attack the United States in Tokyo. Like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, you can't market that at kids. You can.
They tried. They definitely did. It failed miserably, but my mom didn't care. She's like, okay, Pokemon with guns, whatever.
That sound cool. Radio, Lukey boy, do you want to wrap us up? That has been our hot takes.
Yeah, those have been our hot takes, y'all. Let us know if you guys agree or not. In the comments below, let us know what you guys want to see next time. We've been doing this for 25 episodes, guys. And so first things first, again, just want to thank you guys, obviously. Me and Jake would honestly be doing this regardless because we love it, but we love the fact that we've got people listening, honestly, all over the world every week to our opinions is super cool. And we love doing it. It's a great way for us to catch up. Definitely is a fun thing for us to do. We love the fact that we can just spew ideas, talk about them every single day. And we honestly, without this, I literally would be sitting here keeping my thoughts to myself and messaging Jake on Discord. So might as well just get those words out there, make some content on it. But guys, thank you guys for watching us for 25 plus episodes at this point now. More to come this year as long, I'm going to have a big old year reunion at some point. Let us know if you guys have any ideas. But as always, guys, it's been a pleasure. Jake, do you want to say anything else before we wrap up, man?
Nah, I think that's been perfect. It's been a really good 25th episode, and I think hot takes was a definitely good topic to do.
We might have to revisit this sometime. We might have to leave us your hot takes, and maybe we'll read them out on the podcast. So we'll see. But guys, as always, that will be fun. Actually, as always, guys, I've been Luke. That's Jake, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.